Let's learn how to create a custom business card from scratch. You know, it's been said not to judge a book by its cover, but you know that we all do. And in the same way, when we hand your business card out to somebody or when your clients are handing out business cards, that's the first interaction many people will have with that brand or company. So we need to make sure that it's a high impact piece, that we've spent enough time in making sure that it portrays the brand well. And then also we need to finish it through all the way to the end in the production and make sure that we print this in such a way that it looks sharp, it's on great paper, and it really conveys the feeling of the brand and that it all looks good. So how do you do that? Well, let's get started. Let's create a brand new document. And what we're going to do is create a simple 3.5 inch by 2 inch business card. That's the standard size when it comes time to get this thing printed. Now we can deviate from that. We can make slim cards, we can make square cards, we can make teardrop shaped cards. But for the most part, you're always going to be working with 3.5 inches by 2 inches for your canvas size. So let's go ahead and do that right now. We'll make a brand new document, 3.5 inches by 2 inches, 300 DPI at CMYK color mode. And then the other thing we want to do here is give ourselves enough room for what we call the bleed. And typically 1/8 of an inch is more than enough for a bleed. So if we add 1/8 inch to the left side and 1/8 inch to the right side combined, that's an extra 1/4 inch to your document. So what we're going to do, instead of being 3.5 inches, we're going to make it 3.75 inches wide. And for our height, if we add 1/4 inch, it's simply 2.25 inches. So we've now added 1/8 of an inch all the way around the document. We'll go ahead and hit OK to open this up. And now what we see here is our new canvas ready to go, but it is not the standard size we need. It's a little bit bigger for that bleed. So let's go ahead and set up what our trim area is going to be. To do that, I'll hit the letter U to get my rectangle tool, and I'm just going to fill it in with just a blue fill so I can see what it is, and I don't even need to drag it out the whole size. I'll just get it started and I'll hit Command T to get my free transform tool, and up here the width, instead of 100%, we'll set it to 3.5 and then type IN for inches, so it's not scaling it to a percentage. And then for the height, we'll set it at 2 inches high, so 2 IN. We'll hit return. And now we've got our rectangle set up. I'll go ahead and close this properties window because it's bugging me. There we go. All right, now if you've got your snapping turned on, if you go under view and snap, this should snap for you to the center. But just to make sure, just in case, go ahead and hit Command A to highlight your whole canvas. With this rectangle selected, we're going to set it horizontally and vertically aligned centered. And I'll hit Command D to deselect it. And now, again, with this rectangle still selected, I will drop some guides down. So what we're going to do, make sure your ruler's turned on, hit Command R or Control R on a PC if you don't see that ruler, and then just click in that numbered area and drag down a guide, and it should snap right to the sides of this shape. And then I can click here and hold on Alt to flip it from a horizontal to a vertical guide, or I can just drag out from the side here. And now I've got my guide set up. I'm going to click once on this blue rectangle. I'll double click on the name here, and let's name this trim because this is going to be our trim size. So that'll be the final size of this thing once it's all said and done. The next thing I want to do is actually set some safety guides in here, and what that means is, you know, in theory they'll cut this right on the line, but if they move just a little bit, we want to make sure we have enough space to breathe that we don't accidentally lose some important information. So I'll get my my shape tool again, my rectangle tool, by hitting the letter U. This time I'm going to change my fill to a different color here, and I didn't mean to change that shape, but it was because it was already selected, so we'll leave that alone. We'll try it again. Let's change that color by hitting the letter U, changing my fill back to a brighter color. There we go. All right, now what we're going to do is change this size. I'll hit Command T again. I could also just key it in right here, and let's just do that to show you another way. On the width here, I'll highlight that and hit 0.125 and type IN for inches. For my height, I'll do the same thing, 0.125. That's 1/8 of an inch. Type IN. So now I've got a 1/8 of an inch by 1/8 of an inch square, and I can just drag this to the top corner. Sorry, apparently I've got my phone turned on here. And we'll drag a copy down. All right. So now we've got that set to the bottom, and we've got our guide set up. We can delete that extra shape, and now we have our trim and our safety guides. All right, so let's go ahead and save this. Hit Command S to save. We'll go to my desktop in this business cards file, design files. We'll stick it into my Photoshop file, and we'll call this business card front. Make sure it's a Photoshop file. Hit save. and you should be good to go. All right, so in the next lesson, we're going to start gathering assets to start designing this card.